Hey folks, my name's Jason Lewis. I'm a candidate for Johnson County Board of Supervisors in the primary election that's coming up for the Democrats on June 7th of this year. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about something that's, I feel, a very important issue and one that the supervisors on the current board have done a great job of tackling, but the fight has only just begun. If you've been following along at home, you know that we have raised the minimum wage in Johnson County when the federal government and the state government weren't going to get it done. The Johnson County Board of Supervisors voted last year to raise the minimum wage, and now it sits at the beginning of this month, May, at $9.15 an hour. At the beginning of next year, it's going up to $10.10 an hour, and I feel like we're really on the road to $15 an hour. It's just a matter of figuring out how to get there. That's the job that the next Board of Supervisors is going to have to figure out. And let me tell you why I think raising the minimum wage is just the first step in doing what we need to do for a better, stronger community. I grew up in West Virginia, in a town that was... I grew up in West Virginia in a state that was at the center of the labor movement in the early 20th century. There are still stories that float around in my home state about miners having to shop only in the company store, spending company scrip that didn't equal out to the value of the dollar in the rest of the world. And I feel like in many ways we've gotten back to that as we discuss the minimum wage in our country. $7.25 is the national number. And honestly, that's just not enough. There are people in our community who work 2 and 3 jobs to support their families. And no one who works 40 hours a week should have to work an additional amount of time to make ends meet. No one who works 40 hours a week should be taken away from their families in order to make what barely amounts to a living wage. And since the federal government and our state government haven't stepped up to do the work that needs to get done, it's upon us to do that work. Because let's be clear what's really happening here. We are back in many ways to those days of shopping at the company store. But that company store is no longer owned by the people who own our homes. It's owned by people like Walmart. People are struggling more now than ever before to get by. I live here on the southeast side of Iowa City, and I can see my neighbors struggle. And it's just not right that should be going on in the 21st century in the United States of America, a place that loves to talk about how we do everything that we can to support the people of our nation. And yet, our actions speak louder than our words. And that's why I believe it's important that we tie our minimum wage to the inflation index, that we try and go beyond the minimum wage to living wage, that we try and go beyond a living wage to a stronger middle class. That's the kind of work that we need to do. That's the work that is in front of the Board of Supervisors in the years to come. That's why I'm running, to help people in ways that they can't help themselves. I'm not doing this because I am, looking for another feather in my cap. I'm not doing this because I'm a lawyer or a banker and I don't have business interests that I can serve in doing this. I want to serve the people of Johnson County. I want to do what I can to do right by those who have the most need. And therefore, I need your vote on June 7th or before. Early voting's open now. So that I can get on that board and be one of the people that leads us forward toward that living wage and toward a stronger middle class, so that we can build our nation back to the strength that it once had, support for those of us who have struggled in our lives. So please, get out to the polls on June 7th. Vote for Jason Lewis for supervisor. If you want to find out more, lewisforsupervisor.com is my website. And thank you very much for taking the time to listen to what I have to say today.